So, can I ask you your name, please?
My name's Hedda Fogden. I was a gardener.
You were a gardener?
I was a gardener. I'm the eldest daughter of Fred and Vera Gardner. And my father Fred passed away in 1959.
Okay.
And he was a foreman of the timber mill.
Uh-huh.
And the house still stands where we lived.
And where was that?
Down at the Timber Mill Road. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, Mill Road.
Mill Road.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was the foreman's house.
Okay, great.
And my other family members are George Gardner, who has got his rock collection here.
So is that your uncle?
He's my uncle. He's my father's eldest brother. Yeah.
Yep. So what's that there?
These are plaques that my father carved as gift to his parents on a housewarming gift.
Great.
And, I wasn't aware of these existing until shown up on the wall here, which was lovely. And the house on the wall up here was my grandparents' Sam and Cecily's house, and it has been heritage listed.
Right. So that's that house there. Yep. And so this is your uncle's rock collection?
Yeah, George Gardner.
Uh-huh.
His rock collection.
And it's fascinating. There is rocks from all over the state here. And I think there's even a few from some other states. It's massive when you, for such a small space, there's a lot here. And so what brings you here today?
We do an annual trip. The cousins get together and we stay down at Windy Harbour and reminisce from our memories of the past.
Cousins Corner?
Cousins Corner it is, yes.
I
And
know the one.
my good old cousin Dawn comes down every year with us.
Cousin Dawn?
Yeah, this is my cousin.
And that's my mummy there, behind you.
This one?
No, this one.
Ah.
That's Doris Douglas.
Yeah. So
Married Hector Douglas, and she was Doris Gardner.
So you were a Douglas?
No, yes, sorry, I was a Douglas. Mum's brother,
Okay.
George.
Yeah.
A lot of information can be gained from Janice Gardner, who lives in Mandurah, who's a daughter of George Gardner. It's a wonderful collection, and he certainly had a story to tell in his lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah, very
Very interesting man,
Very interesting.
and much missed. Especially when you're out in the bush and you want to know what that rock is, or
What that tree
if
is.
you go travelling you think, gee,
He was a greenie in his day.
Hmm.
Yeah. I still see him walking barefooted and seeing his boots hanging off the grader.
and he had to go down and collect his medal from the city, and he had to put shoes on, and it worried him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't his
He never
style.
wore shoes. He just had great big callous feet. Everywhere he went, he walked with no shoes on. A lot of the time, anyway.
I met him once or twice,
Yeah.
but
He mumbled
didn't
a
get to know
bit.
him.
He had a bit of a mumble, didn't he? Uncle George. Yeah.
I got here in late 1990 really,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to know him for very long.
I still make Auntie Jess's lemon marshmallow slice. And make some of her recipes over the years. Yeah. She was my godmother, Jessie. Made me a hanky box, and it was the first beautiful present I ever had from a relation in my life, and I still treat her.
Oh,
Yeah. Made out of cards, and it was crocheted around the edges.
oh cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will donate it here one day. Yeah.
What else do you know about this place? Do you know much about Munro House, which has been
No,
built
I know
here?
nothing about Munro House. Yeah.
I only know that as a kid I would come down here on the bus with my mother to talk to my grandparents, that's Sam and Cecily Gardner. And we had the roughest road and the roughest trip on that bus, that my mother and I both used to seek refuge behind the seat
Yeah.
because we thought it was going to crash.
Yeah.
And I think once or twice the driver had been
Drinking?
drinking, I'd say, yes. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Roaring them down on those gravel roads.
Yeah.
Those big carry trees looming towards you. It wasn't much sliding around.
I remember going for
Good
rides in
memories.
that combi van
Good
up there with no seatbelts in the day, but with 2 cane chairs, and Malcolm and I would sit in the back of it and go with George and Jessie down to Windy Harbour to do some whiting fishing, and we'd be rocking and rolling everywhere. And we're hoping to go up there today to have a picnic to a hollowbutt tree.
Ah, well, look, he's got shoes on.
And,
It has. Wanted to make an impression on somebody.
Yeah.
George was sort of an old hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah, hippie's not.
Yeah, the trees out the front here, it's an arboretum, they're special trees that
That
he's
he-
designed and,
yeah.
designed the plantation
Yeah.
of.
Very interesting man.
Yeah. I'm not sure about all this pottery. I don't know if that's been donated or is part of their collection. I remember going caving with Uncle George, and I'm not a caver. I don't particularly like it, but he kept on saying, keep going, keep going. You can't turn around now. And my brothers have got fond memories as little kids of
Where were the caves?
down near the cliffs somewhere. I don't know where else, but there was definitely with stalactites and stalagmites.
Right, yes, I've
So-
heard there are caves there. Some
Yeah.
might be now defunct, but I think some on the west side might
Yeah,
still be there.
yeah.
Shallow
Well, quite
caves.
often we've said about walking out along there, all the stuff, the fossils that you would find and things like that, but
Yeah.
it's a bit dangerous for me at this age. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some bits
But
of the
he
cliff.
taught us all to spit on rocks. When we picked up a rock, to spit on it, and that'll find
See the colour.
the colour.
Ah,
Yeah, so that's something he did teach us. Yeah.
okay.
And I know that I used to peel asbestos. I must have had asbestos in my brother's rock collection at one stage, and I'd sit there and peel it, all the strands off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I am wiser now.
Yes.
This collection, in that old combi van, they take off and just, go to all parts of Australia. Don't think he was travelled overseas at all.
He was a very interesting man for, what can I say? He was a natural, he had a curiosity for nature, and he was just so interesting person. He, even when he was an old man,
Yeah.
he didn't have a closed mind, did he?
No.
He,
And he wasn't over-educated or anything.
no, he was not
this was all
educated hardly at
self-taught.
all.
Yeah,
He
self-taught.
was a self-taught geologist, I think,
And
He
botanists.
astounded a lot of really well-educated people with his knowledge, because that's what he focused on. And to go riding with George in his combi down to Windy Harbour and stopping, and he'd race out and show us where the picture plants were, and he'd have all this knowledge. Just such an interesting old, well, he wasn't old then, but uncle to have. He was like a hero,
Yeah.
Taught us how to fish and what.
Still
Yeah,
there.
it's been good old country people.
Yeah,
you know.
and I still go
So
fishing
did
every
he.
time in memory of Granddad and my dad and Granddad used to go groper fishing off the cliffs.
Whiting Rock's still there.
Whiting Rock is covered in seaweed at
And
the
Sam
moment.
used to walk to the cliffs from North Cliff, no shoes, with a sugar bag, bring the gravers back. That's a long way.
That is a long way.
That's
Real
why
tough,
he lived to a fair old age, wasn't he?
He was a tough old bloke,
Yeah.
but very well respected. And Auntie Jess, she was
She towed the line.
well,
She was
she
a
was
good-hearted
very
person. Yeah.
salt of the earth lady.
Yeah. And one thing we always
Country
discussed, they weren't foul-mouthed men. None of the brothers.
No, you're right.
No?
None of the family. We never heard them curse. Well, not in front of us anyway.
No, very respectful.
Yeah.
Very respectful and very
gentlemen?
Yeah.
They were
They
brought
knew how
up,
to behave.
and they had it tough. They had
All
it really
tough,
tough,
yeah.
you know. And poor old grandma, until she moved into that house, she never had a house to live in. Till my dad bought that for them.
So what did they live in?
Tents.
Tents,
Yeah, the
Kangaroos.
tarps.
kangaroo skin blankets and
Rough.
Hessian bags. That's why George always said that's why he had asthma. He said if you had seen some of the blankets we had to sleep in, all that dusty Hessian.
Mm.
They were transient, you know,
Yeah.
they were looking for work all the time, and sleeper cutting.
Yeah,
Grandma kept the cleanest camp, they reckon.
right.
Yeah.
And they used to cook white ant nests, white ant clay that the white ants make nests out of.
Oh, yeah.
You'd get that and you'd beat it up and pound it into the floor, pound it into the ground, and if you did that,
Oh,
Made
the
a
hard.
house. Yeah.
it goes hard, rock hard. And
Ah,
my mum said she can remember Nana sweeping it till it's almost shiny, you know.
Yep.
Kept a very clean camp, and that's one way how they
Kept the dust down.
going back earlier. It's one. Sam said it. They always kept a clean camp no matter where they were. They didn't let their camps get foul or, you know, dirty and well, going back to the goldfields, he said when he was younger that that's how they survived, he thought, because there was a lot of typhoid and things like that around, and they kept away from everybody else and kept a nice clean camp.
yeah.
We do have gardener reunions every few years as all the cousins and their siblings all get together in memory of Sam and Cecily, all their descendants.
Okay.
And the last one was April last year, I think, at Burragup.
Because we're at the top of the pile now, so
Where the old
we used to sit in the front, and now we're sitting at the back, and all the other little kids are down here now. So it's a bit of a wake-up call, isn't it?
And it's nice getting together rather than at funerals.
Yeah.
Getting to know your cousins. Yeah. The old hut is still there that Sam and my father built.
You were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah,
weren't you?
as you're coming in on the new road and you're turning left.
Second
it's
on the
about-
left.
Yeah, it's 102 I think, or 103.
Three.
Yeah. And
Actually, third on your left.
yes, and
Yeah.
Anne said that she knows the owners, must have been a nursing.
They look to be sort of artistic as well.
Well, there's the Facius's hut where you have to drive up and on. So there's the new one that's right on the corner, and it's got that little rock
Right.
wall. And then the next one is
That's
the
built back.
Facius's with
Pinky.
it's got a second story
That's
bit
it.
as well.
Yeah.
But then there's one further on that has a second box stuck up. The next one along has a box stuck up on it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
And it's painted
Did you
sort
take a
of
photo? I
pinky
took it
orange.
yesterday, but I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
I
and it's
took
got a
a
little bit
photo.
of a artwork on the side of the building.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
by Sono, an Indonesian
Okay.
Javanese artist.
No,
Yes.
it's got my phone.
Okay, so that's the Facius's hut now,
Yeah.
and that was
But we
Archie
remem-
Jackson. I think
Yes,
had-
Archie Jackson bought it after it was sold. My brother at one stage was going to purchase it, but living in Perth and coming down for just a weekend, it's a long way to travel. So,
Right.
but I can still smell and have memories of that hut, smelling like seaweed, K-pop mattresses, and
This is rough as rough.
Oh,
it was rough. It was rough.
good though, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, but
And old Sam with his fishing knife covered in old burley and bits of blood and stuff, a few scales hanging off it.
yeah.
He'd poke it into the cheese. He'd cut this real smelly cheese up into squares, and and we loved it. I wouldn't touch it now.
And the condensed milk, I remember him for condensed milk. He'd say, open your mouth and he'd pour it down my neck.
yeah.
And the big tarantulas
Something.
on the wall, wolf spiders. He'd just go up and he'd go like that, and he'd flip over. All over him, and
Because we do get big wolf spiders, but of course mostly down here it's huntsmen. But
Huntsman,
there
right.
are wolf
No,
spiders
that's
as well,
not
and they're
really
both big.
big hairy spiders. used
Like
to
those
go around.
trapdoor spiders.
There's
Were
not
they?
many of
No,
them
no.
Well,
here.
those big hairy ones.
You wouldn't
big
see
heads.
them.
Yeah,
In Perth you get more of the mousetrap, mouse spiders.
yeah.
and they're trapdoor spiders
Yeah.
with big red fangs.
Oh yes, I got them in my yard in Bustleton.
But around Northcliffe, they're mostly huntsmen. But of course, there is the odd wolf spider. I had one in the shed at
They're sort of
Northcliffe.
similar, aren't they?
Huntsmen
long,
are more
hairy
crab-like,
legs and
and yeah, they are. They're the same size.
And they
like just-
would be quite often in the hut down there. And
yeah, go to bed, kids.
Really?
Don't let the bed bugs bite. All
Yeah.
the great big wolf spiders.
yeah, well, a bit scary for a young kid, but you know, it's all part of our trip to Windy
Yeah.
and the shed and the windows that opened up with the
Yeah, we were only talking about that yesterday, how you prop the
lovely
window.
sound of the ocean.
Yeah.
And
Sash
it was
windows.
just such a
Yeah.
wonderful
Yeah.
time.
We
All
were discussing
young
your nice windows in your new home
Yeah.
to the old windows that were in the hut. Yeah.
Such a difference.
A childhood that all kids deserve.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, that lovely, happy child.
Yeah.
Kennedy said, that's my mate, he lives down there, his boys went over three of them, every square inch of Windy Harbour. One day he catches them, they've got an old tank that they found in the bush there, and they're inside it and rolling it down the road. They're standing inside it and walking in it to move it,
Really?
sticking their head out the side. Sharp edges
Yeah.
on the side,
Yeah.
but still having a ball.
Absolutely.
Well, the old dunny door's still sitting at the back of the oil shack.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Don't know if you noticed, but next to the whale skull, where
We noticed that yesterday.
it says Nature's Gifts on top of it.
Yes,
That
yes.
door is from the old laundry door that was towards the beach. There was a laundry block of toilets as well. That's from there.
Yeah.
It's still got the little bit of wire on the back to hold the toilet paper
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And how many people around here remember the wreck?
Which one?
The one that was wrecked out by the island there, Windy
Well,
Harbour.
there's the Evelyn. There was a yacht called the Evelyn that went
It was a
down.
big ship.
Oh, big ship.
It went down and all this cargo came washed up on the beach.
Not me.
You've not heard that story?
Don't know it well. No.
Oh.
That was.
There must be someone around
There was
here.
a lot of relics
would
came
all,
from
would
here.
be documented somewhere because that was really famous. Brian remembered it well. There was barrels and barrels of stuff, and pencils and all sorts of things kept the kids in Northcliffe going to school for years. All sorts of interesting things. I think it was a Greek ship, but kids' memory.
These are our
Memories of
kids'
kids.
memories that we're passing on.
Yeah. You could have had a few things
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, and not living in the community, and it's only memories and stories I've been told, and I can only pass on those stories.
And
And hopefully they're
particular
right.
stories, yeah.
You know, so
No, you remember some of them though. Some of them
Yeah,
are your
yeah,
stories.
yeah,
So yes, George. Everyone knows George had bare feet a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So did old Sam. You see, they were
They
so
had big hands. We've inherited the
big
big
hands.
hands.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Look at those like cricket bats.
Yeah. No, but we had, when we compare hands, and we had a reunion once where we all put our feet.
They're artistic hands.
We put our feet in the middle, and you could pick whose feet belonged to what family member.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Big feet, big hands,
Big
and
feet.
big hearts.
Yeah.
How do you go playing guitar?
I play the guitar.
And the fingers are good. Good to have big fingers.
Yeah, I don't mind my fingers.
There's a few musicians in the family and a few artists, and everyone's got some sort of little talent. Yeah. We're all good people, aren't we? We're good-hearted people.
So does the earth.
And we can have a joke. And we have a lot of
You
jokes.
should see the videos we make down here. They wouldn't go to here.
No way.
Private viewing only.
Yeah.
Good fun though, we were watching last night.
But many a year with when there's more cousins, we do MasterChef or something. So you've got the cooks in the kitchen and we judge their food. We may have a little floor show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
Malcolm and I did a little skit.
well, we won't go into that.
No.
I don't think anyone needs to
I
know.
definitely
No.
want to know that now.
No, we don't need to know that.
What happens
But
in
we
Windy
did-
stays in Windy
Yeah.
Harbour.
And we did a lot of sculpture work with Play-Doh, you know. But we went back to kids stuff. We did a lot of kids stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we?
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and do some painting. And
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you
Yeah, thank
wrap
you.
it up then. No, thank you so
Well,
much
Oh,
for
that's okay.
Fancy just doing that out of
having
nowhere.
Yeah.
George in the background is great, and it's
Didn't
good to
even have time to think about what I'm going to say.
No.
that's often the best way. Thanks again.
That's Auntie Jessie, how I remember her. We were living in Albany, see, and we used to come across probably once a month.
Yeah.
Go home with a load of whiting fish